Welcome to Thou Shalt Not Kill, a podcast about marriage. Hosted by Scott and Ann Travis, this show speaks right to the heart of the challenges that couples face. As marriage veterans of 35 years, they've seen some shit, and they want to help you avoid the pitfalls that could fuck up your marriage. It's time to get your love affair with your spouse back on track to the place you've always hoped it would be, which is starting with the first rule: thou shalt not kill. Here's your hosts, Scott and Ann.
Hi guys, this is Ann Travis.
And this is Scott Travis.
And we're here for the second episode of Thou Shalt Not Murder, a podcast on marriage. Today's topic is going to be the state of the union.
That was you were like a teacher. It was like, hi, this is Mrs. Travis, and today we're going to talk about this. Be chill. It's all good.
Hey, if you guys are going to be with us for some period of time, appreciate these moments, because once we get relaxed, all hell's going to break loose. So I thought we should start with the state of the union. Like, where is your relationship at? Enough about us. Let's talk about you. Where's your relationship at? How are you guys doing?
But you're not going to be able to answer.
I understand. We'll just keep talking. Go ahead.
State of the union. So the state of the union is a topic that we came up with as far as, where are you currently at in your relationship? Where are you currently at in yours?
I'm in a great place in my relationship.
How'd you get there?
35 years of working it.
So
I guess the point I would like, or not a point. Here's my suggestion. I would hope that everybody's evaluating their relationship, because you should always be evaluating your relationship. But where are you currently at in your relationship?
So do you think that we evaluate our relationship daily, weekly, monthly? How do you think we evaluate our relationship?
I think we, what was the word?
I
evaluate.
have a word.
I think that we're constantly evaluating and reevaluating our relationship. I think we're constantly evaluating and reevaluating each other. I think we do it subconsciously, and it's just kind of the ebb and flow of, it's like breathing.
What's the main thing that keeps us knowing how each other are?
We're constantly checking on each other. I can tell if you're off. I can tell if you're not in
communication.
a good mood. Communication.
100%. I think that's one thing throughout what I want to instill is communication, because I was not a good communicator, and the more I communicated, the better it became.
100%.
Don't you think?
Yep, I agree with that. And me too. I wasn't communicating. I would get mad. I would shut down. He would say, "Are you okay?" "I'm fine." How many of you are doing that?
The two words you don't want to hear from your wife. I'm fine.
Yeah. And I wasn't fine. I was pissed about something, and now we just get it off our chest. Yeah. Like, something happens and it gets addressed right away. I don't know, for instance.
Go ahead. Tell about the story that we were sitting on this couch.
So we had friends over. This is funny. We had friends over, and they were sitting on the couch, and Scott kept joking about another friend of ours as his girlfriend. And I said, you know what?
I don't have a girlfriend.
No, he doesn't have a girlfriend. I said, you know what? That's kind of bugging me. Can you just stop doing that? And he goes, okay. And I said, okay, thanks. And that was the end. And the two friends that were sitting on the couch with us were like... It
was like an atom bomb went off. Like, how in the fuck did you guys just get through that? It was like a nuclear bomb went off. It's like you could see in the guy's face, it's like, she just accused you of having a girlfriend. No. Hold on. This is the way I saw it from a guy's standpoint. I got water. Is she just accused you of having a girlfriend? You looked at her and said, you're not going to do that anymore. And then you started talking. It's like, yeah. It's like, it's something that it bugged her. It was nothing that was important to me. It was a stupid word. It was just, and the person that we were talking about, we're good friends with. It was nothing. It wasn't like a side chick. It wasn't like someone that at 7-Eleven that I go and see and, get a Slurpee every day with. It was just someone that we said.
Is that your bar? Is that the bar you set?
Yeah.
If she worked at 7-Eleven, the marriage would have been in a lot more trouble.
I'm pretty uppity. I'm the 7-Eleven girl that gets smokes for me that I don't smoke.
Well, from my perspective, he's just joking. I knew he was joking about her being his girlfriend, but why open that door? Let's not even open that door. And I didn't want to get to a point where that started to annoy me, and then I resented her, because I like her a lot. So that was it. That's how we dealt with it. It was literally over in under 30 seconds. Wow. And the other couple was just blown away because
I don't know if it was
simple,
the other,
you guys. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the other couple. I just saw it in the guy because I mean, you know, guys, if you're going out with your friends, it's like, oh yeah, that girl's so cool, and you kind of joke with your buddies, but it's like, Ann's my buddy. You know what I mean? And I'm joking with Ann saying I'm my girlfriend. So if you can relate that to being out with your boys and you're saying, oh yeah, my girlfriend over there, knowing that she's not your girlfriend. Well, Ann's my buddy. Then I'm saying, hey, my girlfriend over there. You know, it's just one of those
odd things,
stupid things that you just say. And you know, it's a matter of communication. And if that bothers her, then who gives a shit? It's like, pick your battles. And again, if she's really not your girlfriend, why in the hell is it bothering you?
Yeah, why take a stand on something like that? It's so stupid.
You know,
but
it's just a word, heaven's sakes. Why can't I say she's my girlfriend? Because number one, she's fucking not your girlfriend.
But the other thing about it is it could have gone the other way. He could have said, you know, he could have referenced his girlfriend, right? And I could have gotten pissed. And then I could have shut down. And then he doesn't even know 30 minutes later what he even said, because who remembers what they said a half an hour ago? I never do. And so now he's all anxious because he knows I'm pissed, but he doesn't know why, like what happened. It could have been this whole big blown out thing that went on forever and somebody took a stand and blah, blah, blah. It didn't require that. All it required was, hey, you know, I see this as a potential issue. That wasn't verbalized, but I see this as a potential issue. Let's just nip it in the bud. Okay, done, over, move on. And truly, let's keep things that simple. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. Yeah.
And where does your partner think you are at your relationship? It's almost like
you jumped completely over it. Okay, so we've got some talking points.
No, man, this is going to happen too. She's going to interrupt me, and it's going to piss me off because I'm going somewhere with this.
Sorry.
So where does your partner think you are in your relationship? So that I was going to instill the same thing. Like we talked about it, so I knew where you were in our relationship in that moment, as far as that topic was concerned.
Right.
You know where I was at because it didn't really matter to me.
I knew she wasn't your girlfriend. Yeah, no, I wasn't worried about that.
But that's just it. It's just communication. Mm-hmm. So,
okay.
So here's a question for you guys: is do you guys even know each other's love languages? And I know that goes from girlfriend to love languages. That's a weird segue, but you know the book,
Love Languages.
Your love languages.
Yeah.
The 4 love languages or whatever it is.
Maybe we should reread the book.
I should probably reread it.
Yeah. Anyway, we just read that like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, not too long ago.
And I'm not 100%. Yours are quality time and physical touch.
Yeah, I'm a big physical touch and quality time. So when we are now in our place that we're together, it's just her and I. We can do whatever we want to. So we're constantly touching each other. Constantly. And yours are
words of affirmation.
Yeah, and I'm terrible at that.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of fights.
That's 35 years of work right there, boys. Yeah. I'm not the guy to say attaboy, and my kids will attest to it. And that's probably one of the issues that we have is if you've got a job to do, just do it. You get, and running the companies, it's like we ran our companies completely different. She ran it all physical touch and not touch the guy. Hold on. Like all, backing up. Like all happy dippy, making sure the guys have water, you know what, you're a grown fucking man, bring water. I'm not that guy to, help you out and say, hey, you did a great job today. That's the job that you're paid to do. And again, it's kind of a hard stance that I took on that, but I also brought it home where it's like, Ann will do the dishes or clean the toilets or do what everything is. And I don't make a recognition to it. It's just a little thing that makes you happy.
I love to clean house. I love a clean house. What are you talking about?
What I'm saying is thanking you or acknowledging what you're doing and saying you did a great job. And it's not that she needs a pat on the back, but she just wants some type of acknowledgement that I, acknowledge what she's doing.
So I came from a family where there was a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting. We pretty much went for the jugular. Like if somebody said something to you, you just took them out. It sounds so vicious, and it was. We would just take each other out, and so then I carried that into the marriage. So if Scott did something or said something, or we were in a fight, I didn't even think about that I was fighting with my husband. I just saw an opponent and it was time to take that person down, and so my mouth was vicious and really hurtful and wicked. And it took a long time for me to understand that I didn't need to eviscerate my husband every time he pissed me off. It wasn't necessary to, blow up the entire house because I was annoyed.
I was not a good words of affirmation person at all. Worked on it, still working on it, but it's a conscious decision it's a conscious decision now for me to make it a point to say something. Do you believe?
Yeah, I do. He's definitely worked on it.
So here's something. If you guys are going through the love languages, the State of the Union, where's your marriage at? It's like just take a quick rundown on, just kind of assess yourself. Where do you think you are with what you're doing in your relationship? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. Do an assessment. Like, where are we at in our relationship? How are you feeling about your relationship? Are you happy? Are you unhappy? What is it that you like? What is it that you don't like? Where are you at? And where does your partner think you're at? Is your partner happy? Is your partner not happy?
No, wait a minute. I'm not gonna sit here and say, figure out where your partner's at. Your partner has to figure out where she's at or he's at. And then you both can come together and tell each other, because the guessing game of figuring out where, if I try and figure out where you're at, I'm lost 99% of the time.
Well, you could always start by asking.
Yeah, it's about communication.
Right.
Go back to the communication.
Communication, 100%.
Yeah, just assess. What is it that you like? What is it that you don't like? Or things that you want to change. Because if you look back on it, I know that you'll say yes, but we are nowhere near the same people we were when we first got married.
Oh gosh, no.
And then you can take that even deeper. Go after, like we said, after the second, the first 2 years, we did nothing but fight, and then go to our 5 year. We're nowhere near where we were in our 5 year, and we're not comparable to after we've been married 10 years, 15, 20. I mean, we can keep going on. I think that
there's huge leaps of growth throughout all those years, but
growth and setback. I mean, we've definitely not been on a trajectory all the time straight up.
Right. No, we haven't. I mean, you have those years, not even years, you have those moments in your marriage where you're not getting along. I mean, those still came up and cropped up over the 35 years.
Yeah. And that's, I think a lot of the problem with that back in those days, or that we don't really have an issue with as much anymore, is the communication.
No, I think we just communicate right away.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way. Because I don't like being mad at you and you don't like being mad at me, and we don't like feeling that tension from each other. Harboring it
and holding on to it.
Right. So we try to just sit down, work it out right away, get it over with. And it doesn't work 1,000% of the time, but generally it does. I mean, I'm happy with how we communicate now. Yeah.
I mean, there's always going to be ups and downs. And as far as, doing like the beginning of this, of the State of the Union, where you at in your relationship, it's a constant, assessment of where you're at. Because there's times, where you're not in a good mood just for that day, and it's like I'm in a great mood, or vice versa. And it's like, well, shit, this sucks. What did I do wrong? That's when you start really screwing things up.
Well, like even this morning, you kept asking me, are you okay? What's wrong? It wasn't that anything was wrong between us. My hip went out, and I could just feel it. I was just uncomfortable. It
was a rough night. What do you mean? Why are you laughing? Why are you red? Why are you red?
You're a dork.
Okay. So, call to action. Let's do a call to action.
So here's my call to action. I would start with getting the book on love languages. What's it called? Just love languages?
5 love languages?
Yeah. I would start with that. Read that book.
Read it together. Read it separately, but together. And then try and see if the other person knows what your love language is. Because I didn't know what my love language was.
I didn't either. And then at the end of the book, you take a test, and you just answer some questions, and it helps you identify what your love languages are. And for us, I think it was super helpful.
Yeah. It pointed out something that I knew I wasn't good at, which is kind of interesting too, because it's almost like having someone else tell you what you're doing wrong, but you're reading it yourself.
Instead of hearing it from me, you read it from somebody else.
doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of hearing the nagging, you don't do this, you don't do that. No.
But that too is helpful. That's extremely helpful because it just reiterated everything that I had been saying.
In what way?
In that I felt that you were at times putting me down or that I wasn't getting verbal affirmation, and that was important to me, and I kept expressing that to you. And then I think when you actually read it impartially through a book and it came up on the test again,
right,
that you understood that, yeah, this really is a big thing for me.
Right.
So, I mean, it helped me with you with quality time.
Well, recently, I'm meaning in the last year and a half, 2 years.
So a year and a half ago, would you say we sold my business? So now we both don't have a business anymore, which is just such a luxury. Yeah, it's amazing. And so we spend a tremendous amount of time together. I mean, we're together 24/7 all the time. And instead of fighting all the time, I think we've gotten a lot closer.
Go on.
Scott has been saying for years. So I would be at work and Scott would call me at like 12. When are you coming home?
10 o'clock in the morning. It's like, okay, what are we doing for lunch?
When are you coming home? I'm like, I'm in the middle of my day. I've got...
No, you're not. Quit.
Like, I don't know what he thought I did all day. Clearly nothing. So then he's like, come home. And I'm running a company with 25 people. I'm like, I can't just get up and go every day.
Sure you can. You're the boss.
Now I can, and I love it.
You're the boss.
Freedom is such a blessing.
Yeah. And it comes with a lot of communication, a lot of communication. And even if you don't know what you don't know. And I think this book really kind of helps. It helped me as far as understanding from a different standpoint.
Me too.
Yeah.
It opened up my mind and eyes to something else.
So not all is lost. It's just a matter. And that's the one thing that I really think I'm going to hound on this podcast is communication. And it's sometimes it's not what you want to do, but it's usually the things that you don't want to do is the thing that you need to do.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because if you're not talking about your feelings or you're not talking about how you feel, then you're harboring resentment at some point. And I think the one good thing that we got out of marriage counseling, and this is going to come up time and time and time again in this podcast, I know for sure, because it was so life altering for me, so changing for our marriage, is that the thing that she said that we should do is when we're communicating, especially if we're heated and we're angry about something, instead of saying you do this or you do that and I hate when you do this, to say when this happens, this is how I feel. So when you say my butt looks fat in those pants, I feel deflated, or I feel like less of a person, or whatever the situation is. It's so much more helpful to not put the other person on the defense immediately by just saying that when this happens, this is how I feel. And it takes a lot of the sting out of what you're trying to communicate to somebody, so that when you are communicating, they're listening to what you're saying, they're receiving what you're saying, and they're not just in their mind already formulating their defense.
Right. And the thing that you stepped on something earlier is your feelings. And that's kind of a weird one for me because I'm not responsible for your feelings.
No, you're not.
And sometimes that can be kind of harsh when a guy says that to a girl. It's like, I'm not responsible for your feelings. I may be responsible for why you feel that way and something that I said, but I'm not responsible because you feel that way. Now, take it back. If I did something or said something to trigger those feelings, then we can talk about that. Let's talk about that, of what I did to make you feel that way. But I can't change your feelings. That's all in you. And my feelings are the same. If Ann gets me butt hurt, that's me. It's something that she did, but she can't change the way I feel about it.
Boy, this is going to go into apologies too.
You're
not responsible for my feelings. So
yeah, no. We're not going to go into that one.
This will be a topic for another one.
So that's just kind of a good one.
Yeah, it's a good tool. It served us very well.
Yeah. So communication, go get the 5 love languages and talk about it. Again,
sit down with your partner and discuss it. I mean, you're listening to a podcast on marriage, so clearly you want to either improve your marriage or come at your marriage from a different angle, or whatever your
listen
hopes
to all
or
our
goals
scripts.
are. Yeah, listen to our scripts, learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, sit down and talk to your partner. Talk his ear off.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, do it.
No, there's a special place. There's a special place in time when talking is needed. Mm-hmm. But really, if Ann says that we got to talk about something, TV goes off, phones go down, You know, and the same with
Vice
me.
versa,
And
right.
if I want to talk about something, it's like we almost have this unwritten look towards each other. It's like, I need to talk about something. And it's like, you know, not all the time are those talks bad.
No.
And not all the time, you know, that's the other thing too. It's like, don't set up your partner that it's like, oh shit, here she comes, or oh shit, here he comes. It's like you can talk about good things and bad things in the same manner on how you bring it to the table. It doesn't always
Yes.
have to be an oh shit moment. It's like, oh fuck, now she wants to talk to me about this, or he wants to talk to me about that. It's like, also talk about the good things. It's like, hey, you know, I need to talk to you. You know what? Today was fucking awesome. I think that we had a great day and everything. So you kind of switch it up and go at each other.
Or maybe we need to talk about going on a vacation, or maybe we need to talk about going out to dinner with friends, or, you know, it doesn't always have to be a major, huge topic. But when we do need to talk about the huge topics, we set that time aside where we're not distracted.
But we also make the big topics, the table set for the big topics, just like we would set the table for the little topics. So it's
Right.
not like you need to sit down and listen to me because I have something to say right now. We need to go out to dinner with so and so. No, it's like, you know, it's just bring it to the table with, you know, without your gloves on. How's that?
Good analogy.
Okay. Hopefully we didn't go all over the board with that. So I think we're going to wrap it up. You have anything to say? Except you love me like everything?
I do love you like everything.
Okay. Well, I love you too.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.